thank you very much for participating in the Loop Project. This project is funded by the Primary Award, supported by the Steve Biko Housing Association to present social media online awareness to the masses. First bit is not this. First bit is like, I thought this would be really interesting, is the evolution of the computer, right? Now, I mean, of course you guys are young, so I'll say your grandparents instead of your parents because, you know, I come from an older generation than you. So the evolution of the computer, starting out in the 50s and stuff like that, they were big size, you know, cupboards, you know, looking like they had vinyl records on them, right? Spinning. And I loved it, like, if anybody you know Batman, right? I love it how he goes, and he pulls out a hieroglyph code, which is like those like long index cards, which were like just kind of like binary rectangles. And supposedly he goes, look, Robin, the Joker's going to attack the museum at 3 o'clock. And it's like, how does he know that? It's like he's reading Morse code, right? But it's what they call actually hieroglyph codes. And in that aspect, though, that's how the computer kind of like started. You know, when we as children was looking at it, it's like, wow, isn't that amazing? You know, and it was also during like that whole atomic age, you know, there was a lot of fear going on, like we don't know what the future is going to hold. You know, and that atomic age moves into the nuclear age. And then we're still in that climate of fear. But what happens is that young people started to, well, envision the future past that. They started to fantasize about what it would be like, you know? And what's amazing is, I mean, there are people in here that are of my age bracket. What's amazing is two particular shows in particular, is Star Trek and the Jetsons. How many remember those?
Yeah. Star Trek and what?
Star Trek.
And the Jacksons.
And the Jetsons. No, not the Jacksons.
Jetsons.
The Jetsons.
Oh, I don't know then.
No.
The cartoon, space cartoon.
Thank
no,
you.
I didn't know that.
It was set in the future, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And now, here's the fantastic thing about the Jetsons. It was kind of like, at that time you had like the Honeymooners, you had the Flintstones and everything, so they had the space age future family, which for them, the future was the 80s. You know what I mean?
Oh, did they get lost in space? Like
No,
okay.
not that, not the Lost in Space, not the Robinsons. No, the Jetsons, what I'm trying to say is the Jetsons, what they did was, they traveled on travelators, conveyor belts.
Alright.
Right? When George Jetson would get a call from his boss, Mr. Slate, he would call him on the video phone, you know, which was like his TV, you know what I mean? So it's kind of like you start to think, wait a minute. Back then, it was fantasy. It was a cartoon. Now, it's the present. You know what I mean? We have travelators everywhere.
Yeah.
We have monorails,
Yeah.
right? We're not flying around in little mini spaceships like Elroy or anything like that, but we are on, well, video phones,
Yeah.
FaceTime, right? And Star Trek was the same. So even though I'm still waiting for my personal teleporter, right? How did they communicate but with the clamshell, right? Yeah, I'm down here on this planet, you know, and the signal is great, you know what I mean? And that's what we came out in the 90s. They came out with the clamshell phone. There's some people, because I've done this class for an older generation, the elders and stuff, and he still got them clamshell phones. You know what I mean? My point is that at some point in time, we've all woken up into the future. We moved into data entry and IT systems. And so when I went to college long ago, only about 20 years maybe, they called it IT systems, and they had random number generators. And they used to create games where it's like, the most coolest game was like playing baseball. You don't know what baseball is, right? It's like rounders. Yeah, but you could punch in the codes and then randomly we'll pick out, you know, whether he threw a pitch and he hit it or he missed. This was really cool for us kids back then, right? I mean, hit or miss, right? That was, wow, it was exciting. Now, you know, then they moved into Sims technology and RPG. Who knows what RPG is?
I don't know if that's what you're asking.
Yes, I do know. That is what I'm asking. What is an RPG? You don't know? Role-playing games. I know you're not biased, but I'm trying not to make it all about male or female, you know? Role-playing games like Legend of Zelda is an RPG. And we got the movies, and movies were like bringing us into the 80s, we bring like the Matrix. You know what the Matrix is? Keanu Reeves. Am I that old? That's Am I that old?
No, no.
You don't know what the Matrix is? You must take the red pill or the blue pill.
I've seen that scene.
I've seen that scene. It was about being jacked in. At least I didn't say free jack when Emilio Estevez, right? So it was about like computers were taking over our lives. You know, we're going from role-playing games, we're going from Sims to now physically putting our consciousness into the computers. You know, and so that's, you know, we moved into the holodeck technology, and now into the present day where we're down to hard drives and SIM cards. So now, the big cupboard with the vinyl disc on it is now down to a tablet. Now down to a SIM card. Now down to a hard drive, portable hard drives. Let's say it's like this size, right? So I was just saying that's our evolution. The point is, you grew up in the technology now where this is what you all know, but your parents don't. So your parents look at this as toys, right? That means toys that I don't know anything about except for the phone. You ever see it on old, I saw an old woman, I'll say an old woman, but like a nan. I saw a nan on a train with a tablet. To me, I saw a nan on a train with a tablet doing it. Not knowing what she's doing, right? Is she swiping left or swiping right? Who knows, right? she clearly doesn't. But that's how, see, look at her, she's laughing because she knows what it is. You know, and that's where we're at. So really, I just tried to give that as an overview of the evolution of the computer to where it is now. Because I think what's going to be beneficial about this online awareness that we're talking about today is that how we can inform your parents about this technology. Because what the main thing is that there's a thing that we call digital resilience. Digital resilience is like, because we're all using the technology, right? It's all about, you know, when you're at risk and what do you do about it, right? So, I mean, what do your parents is always trying to say to you is to be safe, right? Of course, the best thing about them saying to you to be safe is that they're ignoring what you're actually doing on the phone, right? Because the phone, the tablet, has now become the digital babysitter. It's now become the virtual buddy, right? So it's like when they're wondering, what is my kid doing in their room? Actually, I really don't care, as long as they're not down here bothering me, right? But the main thing about it is that that's where online awareness comes into play, right? That's where we talk about the impact of social media. Welcome then one and all, right? My name is Chase Johnson Lynch, and we're here at St. Hugh's Primary School for the Picton Primary Project of Online Safety and Social Media. So what that means is that we're gonna, one, have a interactive discussion around social media, right? Like what stuff that you're watching online, what are you doing, what do you don't know, what do you wanna know? And then also we're gonna be talking about our end game, which is podcasting. So you'll be making a podcast, which means that you'll be all professional, you know, sitting at a table where there'll be like 3 or 4 of you talking about particular subjects. So one will be a fun topic, like maybe whatever your favorite TV show is, and you do an after show, right? Like what's your favorite TV show?
The dumping ground.
Never heard of it. What is that?
CBBC, and it's like this. Like, it's like this.
CBBC?
Yeah.
That's probably why I've heard of it. My son is now 14, so go ahead. It's a good show?
Yeah.
Everybody else agree?
Yeah.
What's it? All right, quick pitch. Know what the pitch is?
No.
Okay. Just explain the show in about 2 or 3 sentences. The dumping ground is?
The dumping ground is a show for kids. The dumping ground is where kids don't have home and they try and do some stuff on their own.
Like what?
Like get up to stuff that they've never done.
Like Home Alone?
No.
They got rules.
They got rules.
What?
You said they got rules?
Yeah, they got rules.
Oh, they got rules like what?
They like
Don't go out without permission.
There we go. I like this show already. So you've educated me. I love it. This is what I like about that whole interactive thing, because I'm going to have to go back, look for that show, and then I'm going to come to you next week, and you're going to moderate a podcast around it. All right, so this is the first session for young people here at the Unity. All right, my name is Chase Johnson Lynch. I'm going to be delivering a session on building YouTube channels, but we're going to start off first with online safety awareness because that's what we're funded for. And then we're going to get into your creativity about what you want to create, how you want to create, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah? All right, so first of all, I want to thank you for participating in this. So the main thing that we want to look at first, because we want to hear from the young people here in the area, is what is the impact of social media, right? So even though I heard it, but why don't you tell me, how many of you have a YouTube channel? Raise that hand up high, man, be proud. Yeah, one person, that's good. So 1 out of 5 does have a YouTube channel. Can I ask you, what's your age? 11 years old. Now, do you realize that you're doing something illegal? You realize that? You're not actually, you're supposed to be at the age of 13 to be on like YouTube, Facebook, and all that kind of social media and stuff. But people do it anyway, right? It's no problem, don't worry, I ain't stuff like that. Nobody's gonna come and arrest you. But they say that this is what the government does to kind of like protect. Like young people are not supposed to actually be on YouTube, having YouTube channels, Instagrams, and all that. So let's educate people, right? How many? So what are the new apps that are out there? Facebook, well that's not new, but okay, that's good. That is one. What else? What? You know what? Where is it? I had a class with some teenage girls, and they educated me. And they told me about house party. What's your name? How old are you? Hey, these girls are a little bit older. So why don't you tell everybody else about this house party app that our parents don't know about? Go ahead.
You could accept anyone who's in there, and they could come on, and they could see what you look like.
They can see what you look like, right?
Can you see what they look like?
Yeah, only if they show you.
Only if they show you, but pretty much it's like a group,
Yeah.
right? That is like what? Snapchat? What you saying?
It's
Not
not.
really.
It's FaceTime. Well, you can
FaceTime.
FaceTime multiple people at once.
Okay, so group FaceTime.
Group FaceTime. Isn't that clever?
FaceTime.
Group
Group
FaceTime.
FaceTime.
Right, yeah, okay. And so everybody's in group FaceTime doing all of this. But then also too, is I heard that at some points in time, somebody will put up like stranger danger, wouldn't they?
Because it could be your friends on it, and then they have someone they don't know, and they can call you. So it doesn't have to be someone you've accepted, it could be you there.
Oh,
Exactly. So a friend of a friend could come on to see you and talk to you and all that.
right.
And so I've heard that what they do, they put like stranger danger on. And what does that mean?
So what does it mean?
Right.
Okay, so friend of a friend.
Friend of a
It
friend.
comes up with stranger danger.
Does it? Or no, that's only if, because it's a group chat. Like somebody may recognize that, hey, there's somebody in here that I don't know. And so somebody may do that. You know what I mean? It doesn't automatically do that. The app doesn't do that. The main point is the app gives you access to FaceTime to a bunch of people that hopefully think they're in a group of friends.
But when they come on, they'll say, like, their name may not, like say if you go on and don't know everyone on the in your place or something, you'll go in someone's on and you may not know everyone.
Yeah, exactly. So I just heard about this like last week. So is this popular?
Yeah. I do know.
You don't know about it? Good girl. But why is it popular? Everybody else is on it, right? This is the whole point about social media, isn't it? We're just on it because our friends are on it. That party app you told me about, the house party,
Yeah. Oh, wow.
I went and I went to another group of young people, right, here in Picton area. And I asked them the same question, okay, so what new apps are out? And so some girl brought up house party. And then I was like, oh really, you know what I mean? And then so it was like, it's been a real education, I gotta tell you, because it's like, you know, in different areas, this app that seems to be around amongst a lot of young people, I just have not been aware of. And this is actually kind of like something that I've been exploring as a job as far as apps and social media and everything like that. So I find it very fascinating and enlightening. So is this app free?
Yeah.
How do you get it on the phone?
On iPads and phone.
On a pad and a phone. So I mean, like, does that mean like it's just called a house party?
Yeah.
So anybody can get it,
Yeah.
but usually only just young people are use it.
Yeah, but then
It's not the kind of app for me, right? I mean, like as an older person and stuff, usually just young people do it. So just in consolidation, it's a multi-FaceTime app where you can go on with multiple people at the same time. It's kind of like, is it like Gogglebox, like everybody's all on screens?
Yeah.
Because that seems to be impossible on the phone, because the phone has such a small screen. So are you really have to do this, or is it are you with Google Hangout? See, that's old. So what Google Hangout is that you see like the different heads of the people that are in the group, right? The group chat. But whoever's talking takes over the full screen. Is that how it works?
No, it's everyone's on it.
How is
Because it splits, like if there's 4, it's split in 4s, and if there's like 8, it just gets split again.
That's what I mean. If it's a lot of, because you told me it could go up to like 20 people, right?
No, I didn't know. When people get I've only been on it like 12.
Right. So, I mean, the main thing about it is that because it's FaceTime, you also said that you could choose whether or not to put your face on it, or is it that, like when I'm on FaceTime, you know, I'm usually like sitting in the chair, and my phone is here or something like that, and you're really looking at my wall. You know what I mean? Maybe the top of my head or something like that. So, I mean, you could choose to not be on the screen, but you still could be heard. Is that right?
Yeah.
So that means that if anybody could get this app, and
Thank you, sir.
thank
You
you.
need to accept them in your chat window.
Yeah, but you can
Okay,
lock
yeah.
the house. Like you can lock the door, and then no
I
one
like
can
that. You can lock the house.
and then it goes like someone's walked in. So.
Someone's walked into your house, watch out. That's when they say like crazy daisy kind of thing, right? Like somebody's in here, just letting you know, and everything. Now, but you just said you can lock them out, but can they just enter anyway? And then if you don't know them, then you lock them out.
No, if you want to get there, usually you lock the room anyway. You just invite your friends in it, or they're last to go in, and then you'll just say accept.
But if they're already in it, they can't get out, you've got to go into it.
Yeah, because if you enter the party late, right, which is what you're saying, if you enter the party late, you know, then it's already whoever's in there, isn't it?
Yeah.
And if you're like Shanae, who's only interested in a friend of a friend of a friend, right? Right? That means Addie, right? Doesn't know, you know, those other guys, you know, because they're friends, she's your friend. But then, you know, hey, I'm hoping that his friend shows up and everything like that, right? But now, there's this thing called Adobe Classroom, right? Where like they use it like for schools, where you can like do like classes with multiple people in different countries and different places. So is it like that? Like, is it international in that way, or is it just your local area?
It's
Definitely
everywhere.
try it, haven't
It's everywhere because I can do it with my mates in America and stuff.
Can they? So your mates in America could join your house party.
Yeah.
That's, in a way, it's cool, right? It sounds really cool, right? Because at least you're not a guy that said I got a girlfriend in Canada. But no, that's kind of cool though, isn't it? Because in that way, is that what's exciting about it? Is that it's like American movies, isn't it? Like if you're going to go to a house party, it's kind of like you're going to a virtual house party, and there's a bunch of random people in there, isn't it? You ever seen an American movie? Come on, you know you have. So is it like that? You know, hey, yeah, let's go to this party tonight. And even though we're only traveling through our phone.
No, it's more like you text each other or something.
Because you can
get
pass
a
a
house.
note.
Yeah.
You can pass notes into. So that was here's the last bit. So what I was trying to say about Adobe Classroom is when you had the whole big classroom with all the people, then there's a sidebar chat. Is that what you got? Like a sidebar chat? Like if you want to talk to people, is it like, you know, like
It's
a,
like private.
And then you,
So like if I want to talk to Maddie, it'd be only Maddie.
Really?
you have to put in a name and then you need to go in a little circle with a blue cloud.
and nobody else can see your conversation?
No.
I remember that.
So can you go, so in this Adobe Classroom, they call it pods. So can you do that? Can you have like a private little group in that house party?
You can't text one person, no, but you can make groups to FaceTime.
That's loads of it.
Wow. So, why is this fun?
Because like being on FaceTime with one person should bore them.
Yeah, I used to have like 3 things on, so I could just FaceTime people.
Yeah, but if they're having private conversations, you can't hear it though. But you can see them, is that right? But you can't see their texts. You can only just see that they're having a private conversation over there, they're having a private conversation over there, right? Because you just said it glows blue, right?
Yeah, we don't normally do that though, like it's normally just talking unless like you want to tell someone
Yeah.
something specific. But normally we just all talk.
Yeah.
You can never tell when anyone else has sent, like, say I want to message Sinead, but like, or Charlie and Amelia are in the group chat. And they won't know that I'm texting Sinead. I think so. Unless she starts laughing, yeah.
Yeah, so they won't know that Sinead says, I like that guy or I like that.
Well, we all know.
She was
They all do now. But well, thanks very much for that, though. It's really mind-boggling, what access there is. The thing about it is, there is a potential for hacking. So there are different people, right, that are trying to find out your information. Guess what? How old are you? 9. So it's not like you have any information that somebody should be trying to find. But what they would be trying to find is your parents' information. Especially how those phone apps where, you can buy a game, right? And you convince your parents that this is a good game, I really want this. Right? How many have done it? Yeah. And how many of those games used to start out? Remember when those games used to be like Bitcoin, when it was like jewels? All you need to do is buy jewels and pay in jewels. Like what? What game was that?
I think it was Clash of Clans.
Clash of Clans. So with that,
It has money, coins, and gems. Clash Royale.
ooh, it sounds great, right? I can go how many coins and gems. But guess what? All of that is not actually real money, right? So what they're asking you for is, if you get a credit card number, which you don't know about, you're not at that age, but your parents have one. So what happens is that your parents are suffering from what we call digital parenting, right? Where how many of you, let's say, have your own computer, tablet, or phone? Everyone. How many of you are playing a game on those in your room? Most of the time. Mostly everyone, let's say 80%. Oh, look, now she put it up. Right? Do you know what I mean by that? How many of you are plugging in your headphones when you play these games?
Me.
I love it how they think this is a good thing. So, when you do all of those things, how many of you where your parents are just thankful that you're occupied? Doing something else. Instead of going, mommy, mommy, daddy, daddy, mommy, mommy, daddy, daddy, right? You know how they say, you're supposed to give kids only a contact, maybe an hour contact online, because they're supposed to be outside. And your parents say, oh, I think I'm only supposed to give you an hour contact. But how many of you are still on it past that hour? Exactly. Why not? It's boring, anything else, isn't it? You can be honest, it's boring, anything else, right?
If I go outside or anything,
You don't go, you go outside?
then they don't let you.
They don't let you. Why? Because of fear. This is what it's all about. So if they fear everything outside, then now that everything's gone digital and inside, and one thing, they're just happy that you're inside. I can watch you. But what it is if you're online, you're back out, not just outside, but you're in the universe. Do you understand that? You're in the universe. There's so many different opportunities out there in the universe. But the point is, it's about you being safe, right? That's what we're trying to say. Now, it's smart not to say, I want to go, Charlie 222, my friend over there in London, this is great. I love talking to Charlie 222, right? I can run home, Charlie 222, and then, Charlie 222 stops wanting to play the game and just wants to talk to you. I'm lonely.
He's lonely?
Huh?
He's lonely.
Charlie 22's lonely, man. He wants to stop playing the game and just have a conversation with you. Then what do you do?
Go.
Go. Why do you keep wanting to go someplace?
I like traveling.
You like yeah. Okay. So my point would have been is that you do want to, because it's a virtual friend, and that virtual friend at least is having a conversation with you, and you're having fun with them, and so you want to do that.
Before I do it, I'm gonna ask him how old are you?
He might lie.
He might lie. So like Siri.
Don't believe everything you hear.
So virtual friend like Siri.
Yeah.
Siri.
Yeah.
Siri.
Yeah.
Siri, yeah, Siri who knows everything. You know, most Siris have nice voices too. Yeah.
I know
What?
Sometimes it kills, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah, exactly. Right. What were you gonna say, my
He
friend?
might be 19. And then if
Hold on, lad. Hold on.
he might be 19, but if you're 10, he'll say,
That he's 10 or he's 9 even, and everything, you know. Help me, help you, right? And everything. So, I mean, all we're just trying to say is that the awareness, what is the awareness lesson in just that topic that we're talking about with virtual friendships? What should you do?
Tell.
Well, before you tell, what do you think you should do? So, somebody's talking to you online, and then they ask you a personal question. Then what do you do?
so like, trap them in a thing.
Trap? What are you, a detective?
So like,
What are you, the night rider?
so if he says, how old are you? I just say 10. Why do you want to know like these things? And then tell adults.
Yeah. Now, you know what? Questioning that person's asking you stuff is good because then they realize, oh, he must be aware. But if you go, yeah, I'm 10, why? You 10 too?
Like an idiot.
Hey, no, we didn't say that, we're better.
I would just say I'm 16.
So you just lying.
So you lie with them.
Point is, you don't have to engage in those conversations with people you don't physically know. That's all. That's the answer.
You can
What?
just ignore them.
You could ignore them. You could choose. Oh, I gotta go now, right? You can be polite. I gotta go now, right?
Have to go somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And that's when you tell your parents. I'm hoping the awareness of this is because you guys seem very smart. You know, savvy enough to have 5 accounts and spam accounts. You know, to hide the duck and dies from parents and everything. I'm wondering what kind of pictures you're trying to hide from them. But the point is, once you put your real identity, Shanae Quay Quay, right? Once you put your real identity out there and your school badge, right? The point is, it's out there in the universe for anybody to manipulate. That's the thing about the awareness. So when you said to me, oh, you never wear your badge, yes, you should never. Like, you could be like Abby there and not wear a badge, you know? And everything. No, I mean, you're not wearing one in that, like, if you took a selfie now. But also, the background. The background of the area that you're in.
Yikes.
Yikes, Zoe, because Zoe's done it so many times, right?
No, just play it out.
How can it get played out? Bitch, because your face is up there all squished up in the front, and then they can't figure out that background is like that church, you know, or Smith Down Road, or the cathedral.
If you go on edit, you can go down to the flavor.
She knows how to use the filter. So do you do that all the time?
I do have most things, yeah. But you need a little space where you can see something, so I just put it in the background where there's no colour whatsoever. Like it's black.
So you know, that means you're aware that I don't want people to actually know where I am, like a location setting, right?
Obviously, you can't see how weird my face is.
Oh, is that what you do?
I've chosen certain people saying it. I've chosen personally.
What I don't understand. You
I mean,
certain people see it?
Track the snap map so we can zoom out and see who everyone is. But you can choose who can see you, or you can go on ghost mode, but I've chosen who can see me.
Isn't it like snap streaks or something like that, or?
It's like where you can see people.
That's a different thing.
It's like a track. It's like a track.
They can zoom out and just see exactly where you are, what house you're in and all
And
that.
then how long ago you were on the app. But you can put yourself on ghost mode or choose.
Ghost mode?
So if you
So
don't
no one
see
can
you,
see you.
but I've chosen me anti and not to see me.
I love these terminology because I was going to get to that. You know, I love you ghosting and haunting and zombies and everything. It's mad cool, right? It makes it so much fun. Anyway, what did we learn? Just in this bit right here is that can we at least like change our minds towards it, right? It's a bit of fun, right? Be caught out like that. But it's a bit of fun in the aspect of saying, look, I probably should be a little bit more conscious.
I got my parents on my account.
Okay. Did your parents ask to be on your account?
No.
Why?
They found my account and followed it. Oh, she means like a parents follower.
Yeah, my dad.
So your parents spy on you?
Yeah.
How many of you know what Sherrington is? Sherrington. Anybody knows what Sherrington is?
No, I heard it, but I've never
You've heard of it?
Sharing. You mean sharing it? So like you sharing something?
No, but it's clever.
Baby.
So Sherrington is like one of those, like, you know, one of those French words where when parents share their children's photos.
Oh.
So what was it yesterday?
Thursday. It was Thursday.
It was World Book Day.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Did you
yeah.
have class,
Yeah. I just opened my bedroom.
And what did your parents do once you dressed up?
Take your photos. Take your photos. My dad.
Oh yeah.
My dad took a photo of me. Yes,
All right.
Steve.
Bing, 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 bing. Her mother never took a photo. Bing, bing. Her mother. Oh, stop it. Stop it. You know. You come on. You know what happened.
I
You took a photo of it yesterday.
I took a photo in my PJs. No, me dressed.
PJs.
Me dressed. I was in a character called I'm just in my pajamas.
I love that. I'm a character dressed in my pajamas. So that way they didn't have to go out and buy you a new outfit, right? What book is that supposed to be from?
I invented that book.
You know, wait, no, know what you could have did? Guys, know what you could have did? There's a story called The Boy in the Striped Pajamas.
Yeah, like my pajamas.
No, I'm saying, you know what? There's an actual book called The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. You could have did that. That would have been very clever.
There's a book called The Boy in the Dress.
Yeah, The Boy in the Dress.
Mr. May wore it. Mr. May.
Oh, what? So a kid can't be dressed? Yeah, so what? Did the kid come dressed like that?
And so is the grandma and dancing brand new.
Your teacher can't dress? Your teacher can't dress in the dress?
Yeah.
You gotta love it. I think it's time to have a fun quiz. Let's see, where is it? Anything. So, how many of you have parents that are on Facebook? Yeah, everybody, of course. And how many of you, first day of school, have their parents taking their pictures? Oh.
I don't like
They might have their friends, right, who I don't know. And if my uniform's on their account, and that's what they could put me in danger.
Say it now, girl, because that's bullshit.
Like they would come to me in the street and go, I don't know.
Oh, you know what? That's happened to my kids so many times. But that is what's wrong. It's like when the parents are like saying, oh, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. Basically, where are we learning it from is from them. Because what they're doing is they're proud that you're going to school and you're in your school uniform. They're proud that it's World Book Day. They went out and spent all this money for this costume and everything, and they take pictures. Am I right? Mm-hmm. They're proud that it's Halloween. Again, they spent money in Asda somewhere, bought you a costume, and they put those pictures out on their Facebook, right? How many of them ask you for your permission for that?
No.
All right, so first question, Zoe.
What is sharing? Use of social media to share news or images of your children. B. Constantly shushing your child in public. Or C. Shaming your child by behaving in an embarrassing way.
All right, hey, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you got it.
Hey, whoa. All right, keep it working. All right, and B.
How many photos of the average child do you think will be posted online by their 5th birthday? A. 500, B. 1,500, or C. 150?
150? 5 years.
Big.
What's the answer?
It's big.
It's big. Oh! Alright,
The whole time, we had took the kids, haven't realised, brought them back, and you still didn't care.
But I mean, like, the thing about it though is just like, it's weird that even though young people are in this digital revolution now, where everybody's into like social media, it's about those parents who are into it, and this is what they're doing. I mean, I like that last question where it was talking about the parent who, like, something happened to their kid, and they actually was on the phone, and they missed it. You know what I mean? Because it's kind of like, we're so jacked in, you know, to the technology and everything. You know, like, what did you think you would have answered the questions the same way, Zoe?
I don't know.
You don't know because you were just reading the questions.
Yeah.
That's fair. And everything, that's fair, that's good, and stuff. So, I mean, either way is that, you know, it is just really like a good example of Sheraton and stuff like that. All right, got that for now.
You know, but the point is, when you say you don't want your children out there, then they're the ones who are actually doing it.
Yeah.
So we started talking about the terms that you guys are using, maybe not you, but other people, like ghosting and haunting and all that kind of stuff. Anybody want to say anything about that?
Tell me about it, 'cause I don't know.
See?
What is it?
Isn't haunting like when, if you've been like locked up in a account, but they're looking at your account and no one knows that else?
But yeah, so in what context though? So like if you, haunting is like when you are, you're blocked from your ex, your partner's account.
Yeah.
And what you do is you go on as somebody else,
Right.
right? And everything, and then you just kind of like watching the activities of what somebody's doing. And so they call it haunting
Creepy,
because it's
isn't
kind of like, I don't know you're there, but I know you're there, man. Or woman, I know you're there.
Yeah.
But you know, what's ghosting? Huh? Yeah.
Like the novel type
You know,
of thing.
yeah, it's like these words, they're kind of like these cool, you know, emoji kind of words. Yeah, so it's kind of like if you're on WhatsApp, you definitely see it on WhatsApp, all right? So on WhatsApp, your avatar picture comes up,
Yeah.
yeah? And so you're chatting away, you know, blah, 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 you know, especially like if you meet someone new,
Yeah.
right? And, you know, you give out your number so they can get your WhatsApp and everything, but all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm tired of talking to this person.
Yeah.
And then you block them, and your picture disappears.
Yeah.
And it's just a white screen. So it's like you're ghosted. There you go, oh my God, you ghosted me. What's up? What's up? You know, what did I do?
Yeah, I see.
You know what I mean? And then, yeah.
Done that a few times.
You gotta do what you gotta do. We're also doing a course over at the Hector Picton court with the elderly, or the age, let's call them the age, because
Oh.
I feel like I'm
Yeah, like me.
Yeah, exactly.
You agreed?
Yeah.
Girls?
So what we wanted to do was we wanted to have like an intergenerational piece where the young people will ask the old people questions, the old people ask the young people questions.
Lovely.
But then the idea is because you're here and they're there, we have to do it in a different, clever way.
What do you fear most about the internet?
What would you do to keep safe?
I keep myself safe by using shout outs that people put up rather than just adding people randomly so I know who they are and what they are to the person that I've added them on.
I also use quick ads on Snapchat where it comes up with the person's name and how they found your username, and if you know them you can follow them, and if you don't you just delete it and they won't come up again.
Like whether they're from like contacts
Yeah.
or whether like friends of friends.
It's very good depending upon how the person uses it. Because I believe there are so many silly things. The same WhatsApp, sometimes I have my reservations to withdraw from using it.
Well, we use like Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat,
which is where like you sort of show people where you are and like what you're doing at a certain time.
You don't like need to show like exactly where you are. It doesn't have like the exact pinpoint of the location. But if you're on holiday in Spain, like you can say like, is it like in Spain? And it just like comes up, so you can share with your family and friends.
Okay, what apps could I use?
I recommend Facebook because it's like the easiest to use, like out of all of them.
I feel like because like loads of parents and people use Facebook as like as adults, and like when like it's sort of weird when like your children have got Instagram, like you don't want to sort of be using the same technology. It's sort of like that.
So, what did he do before, like, he's all had phones? Government phone.
A government phone? What's that?
What do we call it? The local phone we have, the plug-in one we have.
It was attached to the wall, wasn't
Phone
it?
on wire?
Yeah, phone on the wire.
Yeah.
Did you communicate with people back in the day?
Back in my day, we didn't even have electricity. In 1943, when I was born, there was no electricity in rural Ireland. So we had no power in the first place. The phone became a reality probably in 1970. We had the old coin box that you go and you put your money in, and you had to ring it, and you went through the local operator, and you knew straight away that she was the postmistress, and she'd tell everybody who was on the phone and who you were ringing, and probably listened into the conversation as well.
How did you communicate with people back in the day? With letters?
At that stage in life, it was by letter, which was terrible because it took so long for the letter to go, and it took longer for it to come back. So it really wasn't a good way of communication. So thanks to technology today, people can instantly get in contact with friends.
How did you like meet up with friends, and what did you do? Because when we meet up, we usually just go on our phones, and while we're like in the process of organising it, we're always on our phones, like texting each other and asking. So how did you sort it out?
I had to go far now and talk to them. I couldn't use a phone, there was none. We didn't have none.
Oh.
Back in the day, it was an expensive telephone call.
What, I'm going to try and test what the actual government thinks, right? See, they did all of these tests or surveys. I think that when I looked at it, it's pretty outdated. That's just my opinion. But, so I'm going to ask you, what are the new apps kids are using now?
Snapchat.
Don't just jump into it, but jump into it. So Snapchat, what else?
Instagram.
Oh my God, are they actually using Musical.ly?
No.
You said they are.
Some people are.
I thought Musical.ly was just for music. I thought it was just kind of like, hey, yeah, you know, for old people like myself, you know, we would go on Musical.ly and have fun, right? You know, like Dub Smash. Anybody remember Dub Smash?
Yeah.
Oh, I got some great Dub Smash videos. But so I never tried Musical.ly, but anyway. So Snapchat is Musical.ly, Instagram, and what's one more?
Twitter. You sure? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, all that. That's not an adult, isn't it? I'm gonna put
I don't go on it, you know. I only do
I only have 2 followers, but I'm
So what they have said is Snapchat, Instagram. So you're not on WhatsApp?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I don't go on it anymore because all my friends in year 7 kept texting me. I got like 800 a day and I always forgot to open it.
Would you got too many messages when you were on it?
Yeah, but then I forgot to do it. That sounds really bad.
You know what? No, I'm the same way. I hate walking down the street, somebody comes up to me trying to have a full conversation, and I don't know who they are. You know, because I'm very popular on Facebook, don't look for me. But the whole thing about it is the fact that, you know, it's that whole digital thing where people think they know you because they see your life on Facebook. So they're talking to me, and I'm like this. They don't even notice that my eyes are like going in circles. Because I'm trying to figure out, who are you, right? Do we actually have a physical connection? Or do you just see my pictures from Turkey? I don't know, man. You know what Turkey is, it's a place.
So actually, they did get it right. This is everything that they said. Snapchat, Instagram, Musical.ly. Well, they said WhatsApp. So tell me about Twitter. Why Twitter?
Because we have Twitter.
Why do we have it?
Oh, you're on Twitter too?
Yeah, that's what I was
Why
saying.
do we have it? I only have it because I'm fans of like bands and that, and they have that, so I to find out what's going on with them.
I know, I heard that story before. Why do you use Instagram?
Oh.
What, I love that. You know, she's like, please inform. Why Instagram? Let me tell you what I think Instagram is. Instagram, I feel, as an adult or an older person, is just like a picture site. You know, like, hey, this is where I've been, this is where I've gone to, and then, hey, this is all fun, here's my food. You know, yeah, I know, Facebook is worse for that, isn't it? So, none of you met, so, wait a minute, first before I say that, but why Instagram?
Because you can follow your friends.
You can follow your friends.
Yeah, you might want to get along with.
You might want to get along with. Oh, here we go. I can follow my friends. Oh, my friends. Follow my friends. So, what happens when you all of a sudden, text Bobby? What do you say? Don't get personal.
Well, sometimes you might like, yes, you might not.
Why wouldn't they? I don't know you. You're just a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend of a friend.
Yeah, but like, is that right?
Why are you blanking me? I don't understand.
I follow people that I've met.
What?
I only follow people that I've met them once, or like, because my mates, there's quite a lot of people that come out around mine that I'm mates with, but like, their friends, they come out sometimes, so that's why I follow them.
Yeah, because I mean, I've done this before where, 11-year-olds are talking about they got Instagram. And then, it's like, then what happens is like, yeah, some weird guy, like, followed me or something like that. And it's like, well, So, Shanae, what is your name on Instagram? Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't know how to write that. So, your name is your name, right? So, Shanae. I'm gonna just make it up. Don't worry about your name. Wait a minute, you put your full name on Instagram?
Yeah.
All right, it's time to call the internet, please, isn't it? No, why she puts her full name on there? Because she wants the friend of to find her.
No, I have 2 accounts. One's like, I put like a spam account, so I put like loads of pictures and even names on, but the other one only has like 2 pictures on.
A spam account? What's a spam account?
It's like you just put loads of pictures on it, like of stuff.
And it makes you weep parents can't find it, basically.
No, it's not. My mum and dad don't want it. My mum and dad are on it. I've got pictures of them on.
So, did you not watch Catfish? It's been on for 7 years.
Yeah, I watch it.
So, do you not understand what's going on here? 5 accounts, 2 accounts, real names.
Yeah, but mine's
Well, the worst thing is real name, isn't it? Can please people agree with me that you should be changing your Instagram
If
today?
you put a friend name on, I think you are. The friend is something that everyone
This is
else.
called online safety and awareness, right? They should know who you are. Let me ask you a question. You take selfies with your mates?
Yes.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, but
And you put it on Instagram, don't you?
She gave me permission.
Who? Oh, you give her permission? Oh, I love this. Okay, so you take a selfie with your mate, right?
Yeah.
And she gives you permission, right? Now, everybody knows the frame of a selfie.
Yeah.
It's like what? Like, ooh, we gotta see our faces, right? Right?
Yeah.
Oh, and then we close it in, right? What do we stand up? You two stand up.
Stand up.
Stand up over there.
Stand up.
Okay, you 3, guys, stand up.
Okay.
Stand up. Let's get a little proactive here, right?
Yeah.
Stand together and give us your selfie pose.
I stand there.
Just go like
Stand over there. Give us your selfie pose. It's your selfie pose, right? Now somebody gotta actually hold the phone though, so who's holding it?
One.
No, it's a selfie, right?
Selfie stick.
Okay, alright, now. Hold it out, hold it out, hold it out. Now, check this out. Keep it holding. Selfie stick. So that way you go farther, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Here, you be that selfie stick. Make it look different. You just stick your, no, hold your hand out. And then now you hold your hand out further because you're a selfie stick. No, come over there. Yes, yeah, there you go. Standing up or you're a selfie stick. So that's the phone, right? You do that for fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah? So to be able to see you, and you, that's the top of the frame. Bottom frame, but it's a wide shot. Everybody see what I see?
Yeah.
What do you see? Same views. She's covering her thing views. Look at her, right? No, you're doing good. But you're not covered and you're not covered, right?
What happened to the one in the uniform? I don't know what the uniform.
I don't either.
Please. You guys can't go anywhere without your phones.
Oh,
So if you're walking home from school, right, and everything, and let's say you see your friend of a friend over there, right, and I'm going, you've never taken a picture with your badge.
Yes, she has.
Yes, you have.
Switched off my
Call
account.
it.
Switched off my account and her account. Should have been made so that's on my account. It's on my account and everyone else.
It's on your accounts and everywhere else.
On all of our other friends.
Of course it is.
Put it on my account small, so I do work.
Because you're smart. I love it. You know, I remember talking to some girls where they say, yeah, you know what, ours is only friends only. You know, on Instagram. Only my friends get to see it. How many think that?
Well, if you put it on private, no one, unless you follow them back.
Yeah, exactly, right? But that means you get to see it, right? And then Zoe probably gets to see it, right? So what happens, you know, and this happens, you know, this is going to be like a soap opera, right? What's your name?
Me?
No.
Adelina.
Lady? Addie. Okay, Addie. So what happens if we play some soap opera music and whatever, and Addie and Shanae, right? That is her name, Shanae. Addie and Shanae Quay, right? What happens when they stop being friends? Who knows this story? What? Delete. You can't delete from the digital universe. It's forever.
Can be used against the person.
It depends how you stop being friends, so you could just like not talk to them anymore.
Yeah.
But if you had like an argument, then yeah.
Yeah. But come on, how many of you have experienced this? How many of you lost a friend? All right, Zoe, tell the story. All right, Shane, I know it's happened to you a lot, but Zoe, tell us the story. You lost a friend.
Yeah, in primary school.
Primary school, and you were on Instagram?
I wasn't on Instagram, but there were pictures of me and on their Instagram.
In primary.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So we were in school and we had an argument. I forgot.
It doesn't really matter, but
and they like had that picture of me, and then like when I went on Instagram when I came here, because I wasn't allowed a phone until year 6.
Yeah.
So when I came here, I looked online and I was scribbled out all of her pictures.
So being scribbled out is even worse than just showing your picture, isn't it? Because then it makes you feel bad, right? You know, because then when other people see that you've been scribbled out, then they just make a judgment because, you know, people are cyber trolls when it comes to virtuality, aren't they? You know, I mean, they don't know her, right? Right? They don't know you. But then they can make a judgment on you because someone else has done that to your picture. But that's what happens in these virtual relationships, isn't it? It's not going to happen with you guys, Addie and Shanae. All right, what makes you happy online? What makes you happy online? Funny cat videos? Are you serious? That's so yesterday. It is, isn't it? I mean, nobody's watching cat videos anymore. I mean, because YouTube is like the new television. If anything, you should be watching the American TV shows on it or something like that. You know what I mean? Like Black Lightning or something like that. That's just me. What do you watch on YouTube or online or whatever?
I'll also watch like TV shows and like.
Yeah.
And
Do you watch those reaction shows?
I watch Logan Paul.
Logan Paul.
Listen, lads, I don't want to have to make you leave or something. Don't you know about the Logan Paul?
Yeah.
No, you know about. All right, so what's your opinion?
He used to, I sort of think he used to be like a good person until he showed that video of that guy.
Suicide. Yeah.
And then
He wasn't that good before that video though. I mean, you know, like the issue around with Logan Paul in that video scenario, you probably all heard about it. But like Logan Paul, I don't know if you ever heard of a kid called Super Mario Logan.
no.
Yeah, well, see, there you go. These kids are sold yesterday now. But like what it is that, you know how we're going to talk about creating YouTube channels. And one of the main things about creating a YouTube channel is consistency, right? So, you know what consistency is?
No.
Like, kind of.
Well, yeah, but that means you have to keep it going. So whatever your channel is, you have to keep it going every week. If you don't keep it going every week, then what's going to happen? Right. So this is what happened to Logan Paul. You know what I mean? Because like what happens is that, and it happened like with Super Mario Logan as well, before then, is that, you know, okay, you think you have a great idea, but now you don't realize that if you're going to be a YouTuber and you're going to be a podcaster or whatever, you want to make money like the man over here wants to monetize, is that you have to be consistent. Not only that, but you have to have an identity, right? A brand identity. So Logan Paul, who used to be on what, Disney Channel or some crazy little show or whatever?
Yeah,
It was on Bizarre Bar.
yeah.
On what?
Bizarre Bar.
Bizarre Bark? Okay, it sounds crazy. Was it a good show?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I liked it.
You liked it? What was it about?
It was like camp science.
Oh, like camp,
Is that pretty ever?
yeah.
Yeah.
Like that camp, the one where the kids from Jesse, they did that
Yeah.
bunked or
Yeah.
something like
Yeah,
that.
I watched that one.
Yeah. But so Logan Paul was on there, and then he decided, you know, I'm going to become YouTube famous and everything. So he started doing crazy things, didn't he? Right? And then, you know, he would run out of ideas. It's not like he had a producer or a director or somebody behind him. It's just kind of like KSI. Everybody knows who KSI is, right? Like he was like one of the first ones, especially in here in Britain. And like he just started out making fun of his parents. And people thought it was just funny because like his parents were just so not into technology whatsoever, and he would just do crazy random things. Now he's like millionaire, right?
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And everybody wants to be him. So then they figure, well, how am I going to be crazy? What's going to be my type of crazy? And so Logan Paul, who actually got caught up in that situation, probably didn't actually think about it. Like maybe this is not really a good thing to do.
Well, if he went to the forest and it's known to be the suicide forest, then there's going to be a 99% chance that he's going to see his dead body.
Yeah, I mean, like, what is he on the episode of Stand By Me or something? You know, it's Suicide Forest. I mean, that's even crazy enough as it is.
And
But
little kids watches YouTube.
yeah, exactly. So, I'm going to go to that forest too. Thanks, Logan. Where is it at again? You know, I mean, it's not responsible. And that's one of the main things you guys will have to do is like, if you're going to do something like that, responsibility is the main key here.
Talking about the flood issue that happened on Valentine's Day.
At least 17 people were killed after a gunman wearing a gas mask and carrying smoke grenades opened fire on students at a school in Florida. 2:25 p.m. on Valentine's Day.
So what do you guys think about that? Another shooting in America, I mean, how does that relate to you?
Too many guns. It's illegal. Stop.
When Donald Trump was asked in an interview, he stated that he doesn't want to talk. Like, he was asked by a reporter about gun crimes, and he said now is not the time.
How do you think that affects you being all the way over here in England, hearing about these shootings? I mean,
Stuff like this happens across the world, so
Feel more safe?
feels more safe, but not as safe. You know what I mean?
No, I don't know what I mean.
No, I don't know what you mean. But like to think of but no, I mean no, because shootings happen here as well though, don't they?
Yeah, what happened in June last year?
One happened in June last year.
Down the street?
Literally 10 seconds away.
So how did that so that was close by to you, so how did that feel?
Scary. Surprising.
We had to stay in this building while it actually happened.
Really? What, it happened in the daytime?
Yeah. About 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And it was still light outside.
So, I mean, that must be kind of scary though, right?
Yeah.
I mean, do you think that because there's so many shootings that we're becoming a little bit desensitized to it?
People just want to treat it like it's normal. Like,
Really?
Like
People will be coming out carrying guns and like thinking it's okay to pull them on people. Taking a
what happened does
an area.
in America is around 86 guns to every 100 people in Israel.
Wow, didn't know that, but it probably is true.
And here only 6 or 5. It's around the numbers here.
Still one gun too many though.
Yeah, 6 guns too many.
So, yeah, it's a very important topic. It's like what I just said about doing stuff that is socially relevant. Obviously, it's socially relevant to them. Everybody has a different experience, but yet the same. So, what did you guys think about that?
Well, like my friend, she lives in Florida, and she only just moved there as well. And her school is directly next to where the Florida shooting happened. And I just think it's stupid that they still have banned guns, because now that's given children in America, they don't feel safe in school, and they should feel safe in school because it's a place where you go to learn and to be safe and not get harmed. It's just for education.
Where there's a big youth movement that's happening in March, right? Where young people are gathering on the White House lawn, right? Because they're tired of all of this, and they actually want
And what does that say to Trump if the young kids?
Well, it shouldn't say the right thing, because Trump, as we all know, came out and said, you know what, we should give teachers guns. I said I don't want to get political.
How ridiculous, you know, we're here to protect
I know, very ridiculous. I don't want to get...
And then it's
Right. Yes.
It's also the fact that if you give a teacher a gun, the students are going to feel threatened and
course.
again
Why wouldn't
scared.
And the
And
thing
then
is, we don't want guns.
yeah, and if a student becomes like violent or aggressive in class, the teachers are taught to protect them, but instead they might just shoot them, and that's it's not
There's
just
probably kids with like mental disabilities, like ADHD or something, they might get angry and they might go in the cupboard and get a gun when no one's looking, and they could be shooting anyone.
Yeah, if maybe left their classroom,
and there's a gun
or a teacher left their classroom.
And it was that
and
easy
was
for a
going
kid
deaf.
who was expelled to come into the school with a gun. It's easy for a kid to get angry at a teacher.
And take the gun from where the teacher has it,
It should be normalised in a school for
No.
guns to exist. Like I remember watching the Kardashians. I don't care like what you think about the Kardashians, but it was
I like
after the attack in France, you know, where Kim got like held at gunpoint. And the two of the other sisters wanted to have a gun in the house to protect themselves, and Kim went off on them, and she was like, well, I don't want my kids to think that having a gun should be normalised and everyone should have a gun.
Because teachers just took a gun into a class and used it.
I do not know that.
Yeah.
What?
It's on the news now. It's on the news.
So do you know anything more about it?
Um,
Are you going to look it up there?
Anyway, I was really angry to see that. So
Yeah, of course.
Because now if the teacher is starting to do that, really, as a mother, I cannot say.
And feeling justified because their own president said it, and I say their own. Their own president has said it. As I said, I didn't want to really get political about that, but this makes me really angry because I have not even heard that. Is that a teacher is now thinking that it's justified to go in. So did anybody get hurt?
No, nobody get hurt.
But he just took a gun and...
One student, because he jumped out of the window.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
First floor or?
I don't know if it was the first floor, but she did hit herself. The ankle.
She hurt herself, yeah, of course she did.
Yeah.
Please tell me it ended with his arrest.
Yeah, he's been arrested.
Anybody knows what an after show is, so she can understand what I mean by that? You would know what an after show is on YouTube, right? No? Anybody ever see Black Lightning?
Yeah. What? Black Lightning?
Yeah, Black Lightning is a superhero, man. Black superhero, dude. Come on, dog. It's on CW, man, and everything, you know what I'm saying? It comes on Netflix here. Oh, he got lightning powers, and his daughter's got powers. So So his daughters got superpowers, so they're like thunder and lightning and stuff. It's really cool. Must watch, must watch. Anyway, so after that show's on, then a panel will do an after show where they just review the show and they talk about what they like and didn't like about the show, right? And then break it down. So those are always good and fun. No, it's just kind of like, you know, this was a really good episode and this is what it was about, that kind of thing. And it's done in a, because it's like a couple of people, it's done in a fun manner.
Hi, today we're going to be talking about Riverdale and the after show. I am Adelina and I'm joined by
Sinead.
And by Charlie, who has never seen the show before, so we're going to try and convince her to watch it. What do you like about Riverdale? I personally like Archie because he is like my favourite character in it. And I like how he is now more involved with the second season with the Black Hood because of his dad. So what's your opinion?
I think mine's mostly like the cliffhangers that are like on there at every end of the episode where like you have to wait a week for the episode to come out, so like basically it'll leave on a cliffhanger because you want to watch it, so it basically draws you in more.
Charlie, do you know at all what Riverdale is?
People, and then there's like this place that they go, and there's a blonde person, and then there's Jughead.
Okay, well, Riverdale, it's basically a murder mystery.
As well, I quite like how it's evolved from like the comic, from the Archie comics, from like the old generation, to see how it was presented back then, to how like it's being presented now for like the young teenagers.
Yeah, so there used to be Archie comics, which they're based on now. That's usually who it is.
The good thing is it's on Netflix, which is a good thing.
Yeah, it's easier for us to watch, so you can go. You have Netflix, yeah?
I'll just use Joe's account.
Well, you can. It's on Netflix, and there's two seasons, and it's on a 2-week break, so it starts again. It starts again next week on Thursday.
Hi guys, and this is the Fabulous 5, and today I'm going to talk about what TV show we like. I'll pass it on to Mahmood.
Hello, my name is Marie. I'm the only one here who likes Dennis the Menace. About Dennis the Menace, this kid called Dennis, he loves doing pranks on this kid called Walter. I'll pass it on to River. I like New Dragons to the Edge, Race to the Edge, because there's loads of dragons and they fight and have violence.
Bye guys.
Bye. Bye.
Hey, what did you guys think anyway?
What do you think of the video?
I thought of the video. I felt a bit nervous because I didn't know what to say, and we was just talking about our favorite TV shows.
Yeah, but I think you did a really good job, first of all. Yeah, no, everybody spoke. I thought you did really well in leading the conversation, pointing out who should speak next. So, Samara sat here all quietly, right? Oh, I'm shy, I don't want to say anything, I don't even know what I want to... Yeah, I don't even know if I want to be in it. And then once the camera went on her, she's like, hi, I'm Samara, and I really like this show.
It's my first time recording a camera, and I think that I did really good.
You did? You did. You handled all of the close-ups and everything, you know, and also, too, is with Vodcast, especially since you do your own YouTubing, it's not about how special the camera is, because you can use your computer, can't you? And stuff like that. But also, there's a part of, like, you know, uploading the stuff, editing and everything. So we can only edit if you have more than one camera, right? What about you, my man?
I felt good because this is my first time filming a show, and I felt good about this filming.
I just want to say, though, is that because you operated the master camera, which is the wide camera, should never move. That's for everyone. You got a wide shot, you hold it. Why? Because every time the second camera moves, when you're watching videos on YouTube, what do they never do? You never see the camera movement, right? And that's because it usually just cuts to a wide shot, a close-up, or a mid-shot.
Yeah, no, like sometimes they get that, and sometimes they put it in.
And the only way they could do that is because they have that master wide already always there.
Hello, my name's Dwayne, and welcome to the Fortnite Show with Ashley and Jay.
Hi.
Say hi, guys. Hey. So mainly on this topic, we're going to be talking about Fortnite, the dislikes, the advantages, especially with this new gun and the shrines. Jay, you want to start us off? Actually,
I think I've got that up there.
yeah, you get a few tests in it. In a 1x1 space, you get 3 tests.
Don't just get chests in 1x1 spaces though.
Yeah, so most of the time, at least in the Celtics, the podcast, it's kind of like a 50-50 there. But on the other hand, the new grenade, the impulsive grenade, I see more of a troll weapon that I control with. Yeah, it's just funny. Why so you can blow people? Like say you see someone on the cliff before that, then you go find the cliff and die. But you don't get the kill off it. You get to die 4 damage. True, but it depends how high you are. If you've got like a Sky Force or something like that, that's definitely a lot of 4 damage. Which will equal to a knockdown. If you're on team, if you're on teams. Speaking about double pumping, they're gonna ban it soon. Not getting banned, I'm triple pumping. Still gonna ban that. And they could you pumping on legs. Still banning it. Thanks for watching this podcast and I hope you join us soon. Bye.
Hello everybody and welcome to Fantastic Four. Hello, my name is Levi and my favourite show is Hetty Feather and my favourite character is Vance. And my name is Jafar and my favourite CBB show is Hetty Feather and my favourite character in that show is Hetty Feather.
Hello, and my name's Anna and I like the dumping ground and my favourite character is Maybe.
Hi, I'm Amelia and my favourite CBB show is Creeped Out and my favourite movie is Trolls. Let me explain you about our shows. My favourite TV show is Hetty Feather because it's Victorian times before everything started, and she in that film is she's looking for her mom because when she was little she was given to King's schools and she was a baby then, and Jaffa will tell you more. Hetty Feather is a CBB show which you can watch in CBBC. It's all about this girl that lost her mom and she has been given to someone in a hotel where she has to clean everything. Try to watch this movie on CBBC. Thank you for watching. I'll introduce you back to Amelia. Bye. 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 And as I was doing it, I felt nervous because I didn't know what to say next. I felt a bit shy, so I didn't know what to say, and I just said words that I didn't know what to say. The same. I felt nervous, and we could have practiced our words better.
Okay, so for the camera crew, yeah, so about what you guys, the assignments that you were given. So what about you? Tell us what you did and how you felt about it.
I cameras all that.
You filmed the close-up camera.
Yeah.
Right, so you operated the close-ups. So how did you feel?
I feel like
Stop telling her what to say.
I felt good.
Okay. What about you, my man?
I felt nervous because I thought I was going to drop it on this.
Yeah.
Because I was videoing it and then I was turning it and then it was falling, but I held it tight and then I just stopped it and I stopped it.
Okay. What about you, light boy? That's you. That's you. Yeah, we know. But there was a problem, wasn't there? It's not broken. The battery was dying, so that's what it was. So, but I mean, you at least kept it going, though. That was good. What about you, my man? You had the directing, and you were on the time, and you kept putting up different sets of fingers, it got confusing? Oh, okay. All right. No worries, man. But I just want to say, at the first time, I think you guys did an amazing job.
Today we're going to be talking about scams and viruses. Pop-ups can give viruses and they can destroy your computer. What do you think about scams and viruses?
A bad service can take more money than the actual cost of the item. Pinch access of your credit card number.
What do you think about them?
Power banks can have like viruses in them, but they can also be like in-game currency, which can be very tempting to click on, because you could have an item in the game where you really want with the in-game currency, but it'll take like a really long time to build that amount of currency in the game.
What do you think about scams and viruses?
It's like bait. So if you're looking for some money or something that's worth a lot of money, then like these pop-ups could come up saying that if you click this you could win an iPhone X, and then you have to put your name, address, age and credit card number on the account on your application form and stuff. So yeah.
So that's what we were talking about. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for listening.
Watching.
Remember to like and subscribe. That notification bell.
Real quickly, what did you think?
I think we need more practice.
Yeah.
First time.
Relevant. So, anybody understand what socially relevant is? That is something that is important to you. So let's just say, like, for example, cyberbullying. Right? Anybody know what cyberbullying is? Whoa, all hands up. All right, tell me what cyberbullying is. Let's see, who hasn't, okay, go ahead.
Cyberbullying is when you bully online.
Mm-hmm. Yep, bullying online. Is that it? that was kind of easy, wasn't it?
It's when you bully online, and sometimes they try and like fess it out, how are you, but then like they start building up, like I live on the street, then what should you look, and they start going into.
Now that's like when that's a form of like trolling. Like when someone is like, you know, trying to pretend that they're your age and trying to engage you in a conversation.
Yeah.
That's very good that you brought that up, because what do you do if that happens? Exactly, right? Because a lot of kids keep that to themselves, don't they? You know, because it's just kind of like in school. If somebody says they don't like your hair or they don't like your clothes or anything like that, and then, you know, you feel bad, but you figure that I'm not going to tell anybody. What is it that you want to say, right? Hands up just like,
Once someone asked me where do you live, and I just gave him a van. I said I live in L7.
Right, you don't have to tell me where you live, but I get you.
That's a fake address.
No, I get what you're saying. My point is, when someone, let's say you're playing a game, give me an example, like Roblox, right?
Yeah.
So they go, yeah. Let's say you're on Roblox, and that is like other people could talk to you on Roblox, can't they? Right? And what would they do is that they get a sense of you first, you know, like, and they figured they could talk about themselves, right? And that will help you to think, oh, you're kind of like me, and then they'll ask you kind of like sly questions about where you're from and how do you feel and all that kind of stuff, right? But guess what? Dude, I'm on Roblox. All I'm doing is playing Roblox. I'm not trying to engage in a conversation about where I live and, you know, and all this other kind of stuff. But you sometimes get sucked into that. It's kind of like, one of my questions here was kind of like, are virtual friends better than real friends?
It could be.
It could be. Now that's an honest man. I'll say an honest man, lad. It could be, right? Why? Go ahead. I just asked you why.
Because maybe your real friends don't be that nice to you. and then you have another friend you don't know,
Mm.
and a virtual friend, and he's always nice to you, and you meet him in real life, and you're friends. And then when you play together in the game, virtual friends. Like you
Yeah.
don't know.
But that's the whole point. You shouldn't get so sucked into how nice that person is that you want to meet them, because that's the goal for them, right? I mean, like, the thing about it is that it's a shame when, like, say, a virtual friend can seem like they're more interested in you than a real friend. But in that aspect, though, is the point is if you don't know that person, right, then that's when you shouldn't really, like, set out to meet anyone. Meaning that you tell your parents, right? You can always check out a person, like their IP or like their address where they are. You can make sure that that person is actually another lad like you before there's any kind of contact. You don't have to go, oh, I'm going to meet someone. Never do something like that. You understand? You don't want to do that, right? You don't want to do that, right? You don't want to do that, right? How can you get Jesse? Yes, you don't want to do that, right?
So funny.
Hopefully your friends in this group can back you up on that.
Well, I don't understand Facebook. True, it is confusing.
I think as well for why though is because you get to communicate with everyone. So like instead of like message and stuff, you get like you can send pictures to people like
Yeah, you don't want to be left out.
Yeah. And, like it does like a group chat and Snapchat, and you don't have Snapchat, you just feel a bit like isolated. Like
and if they're talking about something
yeah.
on the chat and then you weren't there and then they've all got this like inside joke now.
Yeah, and if
you're
your
just
friends
sitting
come
there.
into school talking about it tomorrow and that, like you're like, what? Like so you sort of do it to like follow the crowd a bit.
Why do you think you guys do it as well? Like, get use social media, or is it the same for you?
I think it's the same. Like, I know how to use them and everything. I know how, like how they work, and yeah, I just use it to talk to all my friends. I know who not to speak to, and I know if there's like a random person who's following me, I'll send it to my mates first and see if they know them. If they don't, then I delete them straight off it, and then I'll put my accounts on private, so not like random people can see my accounts.
For an example, say somebody you didn't know, and you didn't know that they followed you, because sometimes it does happen, you just accidentally click like, and they started DMing you or texting you or messaging you, what do you think you would do?
Well, like, I speak from like experience. Like, there was this man, and me and my friends we were like very young, we were like 10, and obviously like when you say you're not supposed to have Instagram or whatever, but we did. We just did. And he followed us because we weren't told about like the private settings or whatever, and I ended up having to tell my dad about it, and he did end up taking it to the police, and he did end up saying to them like, well, like, there's a strange man, like, there's a bunch of things that I wouldn't get into that like he was talking about, and it's just a bit like thinking,
Yeah.
but you have to tell someone, like, even if you don't feel like you could specifically talk to your mum and dad about it, I always find that talking to your friends help.
As well, like if you don't want to feel like grass, because you know when like you're a teenager and you're in school and stuff, it's not as easy as just go up to a teacher and say something. It's not as easy as that anymore. Like if you go up to someone, they're gonna have their own opinion on you.
Yeah, and if you ask for them not to take your name into it, they're gonna know. Like, if you tell the teacher, oh, I've had an argument with whoever, and
they'll know that it's you.
Yeah, they'll know that it's you, and you don't want to have to feel like that, and like you don't want it to carry on, because once it's not in school, it's not in school.
Yeah.
Like, if it's dragged into school, then the teachers can do something, but if it's not dragged into school and it's just online,
then
that's when you've got to, like, if it's that bad, you're gonna have to.
Today we'll talk about cyberbullying. I'm Daisy, and we're going to talk about bystanders, victims, and bullier. I'm going to pass it on to Lucy to tell him about more.
Hello, my name is Lucy. I'm 9 years old, and as Daisy said, we're talking about bullying and all these things.
The bystander is the person that watches you get bullied, and someone they step in and help you. Yeah. The victim, the person getting bullied
So if somebody gets bullied, never go up to them because they will fight you, and the right thing is telling a teacher. It doesn't matter if you get called a snitch and a grass. A bullier.
A bullier, if they're a bullier after you, never panic, because if you was the bullier, you wouldn't do all this stuff to other people.
All of them things, some of them are good and some of them are bad, because on the bystander one, it's bad because the person who watches them will always, the person who watches them doesn't really do nothing, but sometimes they help. Sometimes we help them. By cyberbullying, these kids get bullied, cyberbullied on their phones, and we're about to go tell you some more.
Like he said, some kids do get bullied on their phone, like how they look and how their clothes are. People get bullied because the bullier has a problem with, or maybe their mum and dad has a problem, or they're getting bullied. They bully people because they're angry or jealous of you. They make you angry so they can take you apart from your best talents. I'll give it to my mood. Like River said, a cyberbully they probably just get bullied themselves. That's why they bully you on the phone, not face to face. If it was face to face, it would be.
So, like, what about, like, you know, when you don't see the person who's bullying you, like, I mean, I've been getting, like, these weird, you know, text messages or, you know, pictures that I don't like myself being sent around, and what do you think about that?
I think the people who do that are responsible, because they should think twice and then send it. What about you, Vanessa?
Well, I think if someone's getting bullied, they should tell someone, and like they shouldn't like take it to a level of violence or of sharing it with other people when it can just be solved like without everybody knowing.
What do you think?
Well, right now, I certainly can't think of an opinion that I could say. Right now I do not have an opinion that I could say on this.
Do you have anything or something else related to this topic?
Well, all I want to know is why did they even start this cyberbullying? Like, what's the point of it when they even probably get it themselves?
Well, most of the times because they're insecure about what they don't have. And then if something, for example, if they have problems with their families, they take out on other people who did nothing wrong to them. They just have no one to actually like talk to, so they just lash out at victims.
We decided to bring in some of the toys, right? Where if like you're doing this kind of podcasting, there are key things that you need. One is obviously the camera. Obviously, you would take the what off?
Lens.
Don't say. Yeah, obviously you take the lens cap off, wouldn't you? So that way, you know, right. I'm not going to go into all the complications of the camera, but obviously when I turned it on with this switch, then you can see through the back of the lens what you're filming, right? So this camera will then go into the tripod, which on the tripod has what they call a shoe, and that just means the tripod plate, but you can't do it with one hand. So you look at that. Take that off, and we screw that onto the bottom of the camera. So now it's on,
and then I put it back onto the camera. So we never let our hands off the camera until we're sure that it's secure, right? Because it's very specific. So we have to pull back, lever, secure. Bingo bango. Another important toy is sound. Sound is my kryptonite, right? Because when we use the in-camera sound, I can hear Charlie breathing. And we know, and well, we know, Charlie, yeah, you got a cold. So like, if we use the actual sternal mic, which this is, it's called the Tascam, right? We're gonna put it onto the table for when you guys are performing, right? I'll go to the record button, but there's only one record button, you have to press it twice. And so this will go onto the table. These room mics, they're what you call unidirectional. So they usually pick up whatever's in front of them. So we put it right here in the middle person, and it will still pick up the two people on the sides. Now the last toy is light. So we got camera, sound, and light. And look, we got filters for that lighting. And so for the light to turn on, we put the battery in. Now, look at that, that went fast and simple. And these are called barn doors. Now, what you like to do is warn people, so I'm warning you now, lights.
Oh, Jesus.
Right? Now, what's great about this, it's better than that little light that I had, right? But when you put the filters on, it adds color.
Will it make me look
Adds
orange?
color. Yeah, right? You getting that, right? Now, you can control the intensity.
Oh, thank God.
Right? So when you're in dark places, you want more light. Okay. All right, so that just ends like that little technical setup. Control the lighting this way. See, with the barn door, making sure that the lighting is just there on the table. Now you might say, yeah, but it still looks dark, sir. But actually, it doesn't, because the camera is aperture, it doesn't see the way we see. We see everybody naturally, but the camera, that's why you always hear about the iris and opening the aperture and all that kind of stuff. Because, that's what happens. So this just makes it all nice and cool. Even though there's nothing really wrong with this natural lighting, but I just thought that it would be a nice effect. I'm going to be shooting a wide shot of the three people on the table. And so as you can see, even though you'll see the shadow of me, you see the shadow of me in the black screen there, when the color correction is affected, that screen will go even darker, completely black. Or, because we'll put a picture on there, we will actually chroma key the black out, so that way it just becomes a frame. The camera that Charlie is holding there is our second camera. So we would need a second camera operator to shoot what? If I said this was wide, what would our second camera operator shoot?
Face.
Close up. Close up. Thank you, Zoe. Close ups. So that means that while there's a person here where you don't really need an operator here because we can trust that's on. So the person who is our camera operator will probably be like here, and they will be zooming in to the faces of people who are talking and to the reactions of those who are just reacting to what has been said. So it's what we call a 1, a 2, or a 3. 3 is for the wide, all 3 people. 2 is for a 2 shot of 2 people, like probably sitting next to each other, reacting. And the single, so the 1 is for the close-up of the person who's actually saying something.
what did you think of the podcast or the podcast? I mean, was it fun? Was it interesting? Easy to do? What are your thoughts?
Interesting, fun.
Yeah, I think it was interesting.
Good to know like other people's views.
Because the Star Wars one, I absolutely love Star Wars and I've seen every single one, and I thought it was Luke, I Am Your Father.
See, it's Mandela. I can't leave this podcast without talking about flat Earth. Because I know the reaction of our camera operators, how they freak out when we talk about flat Earth, right? I'd like you to think about something that you would say, yeah, we could continue doing this. So we could continue doing an after show. Doesn't have to be Riverdale, it could be anything. We could continue doing conspiracy theories, and only do one topic. Yeah, so you can do a 5-minute, cast. It could be 2 people, it could be 1 person, they do single cast. You could review like the latest movie coming out, or when the shows return, if you watch the CW shows.
Trailer reviews?
Yeah, no, but you could do that. I mean, if you go on YouTube, afterwards, go on YouTube and you'll see there are like not only girls your age, but even younger sometimes that are doing this. They are doing this. This universe, that's why we're trying to say YouTube is what you make it. What you'll see is an example of what we call the cartoon effect. Because of young people, and this is hopefully an old way of thinking, but because of young people being involved in YouTube and everything like that, automatically parents get scared, right? What could happen? But hopefully when they see some of the discussions that we have participated in, they have nothing to worry about YouTube and a lot of other things that they have to consider. Mainly is their awareness. Even if you choose to not tell your parents everything, which you guys are good people and you do tell your parents everything, the point is they're not asking you any questions, are they? But pretty much they're asking you only kind of like, you're always on your phone all the time then, right? What are you on, right? They're not asking you like, so let's have a sit down. So exactly what are you on? How are you being safe? Are you being careful? Are they asking you those kind of questions?
No, but I think because they trust me.
I was just going to say that if they reach kind of a level plateau where they kind of know and they know.
When I was in year 6, although now Instagram and Snapchat and stuff then, they gave me an account then to see what I'd be like when I get into year 7 when I wanted more freedom, so they can check the account and what's going on in the account.
But Amelia, the importance is that even if they do that, it still is about their own particular awareness, isn't it? Like, asking you what you're on is one thing, but having a discussion about it is another, right? We had that quiz, the Sheraton quiz, where we would try to test how much your parents, know and how involved are they in sharing your pictures online and all that kind of stuff. And even though you guys won, right? I don't know, Kim wasn't on when you won. It's like, yay, you guys won. But the thing about it was the fact that it's not their fault. This is not me saying it's your parents' fault. It's about awareness. So when we talked about your own school, which is a great school, they have a great safeguarding program, but you also mentioned that when you have, IT, and you do have a day on online safety, what was your opinion?
We don't really get that involved.
Just be dead on the
It's
scale.
more the teachers just read stuff off the board.
Yeah, and we're learning more about strangers contacting us rather than things that go on with your friends and stuff.
So rather than reality of the stuff you use.
Yeah.
So we need to raise that awareness.
Exactly. It is about the fact that the schools have usually taken a stance where we'll avoid it. We won't allow you on YouTube, right? We won't allow you to do this, and everything will be fine. But as we will see from this course, that's not exactly the case, because you got your phones, you got your activities, and the activities go way beyond YouTube, go way beyond Facebook. With the different social media apps that are out there. It's not just you. In another group, same thing. Same type of girl, but she's 11. Talking about her experiences on it and how much she enjoys it, what's wrong with it, and all that other kind of stuff. And we're not saying anything's wrong with it, we're talking about the possibilities, which is what your teachers are talking about. But you don't have to continue go down into the darkness, right? And having those discussions. It's just about being aware of how to be safe, right? And that's what we're talking about. So you guys had some I looked at a piece of the video from last week where you guys were talking about that phone app. Find Your Friends or whatever it was. You mentioned it.
And so what would I do? We just get
I won't do it now.
You think I wouldn't do it now?
You see the lockway one?
Yeah, this button here.
Yours on the side.
Oh yeah. You like press it and press it and press it and press it. Like
Yeah.
There's another one that I've seen. There's an app where basically it drops your location to the police.
That's what I got that one.
Yeah, it drops your location. But I feel like
find, what's it called? Find.
I found my friend's good.
Oh yeah, that's how my dad said. That's how I found my mum. She was like in the a close state by way she kept on
my cousin.
Where you going?
She's like just turned 18. She's obviously going out on the town with her mates all the time. She actually has. Do you find friends on your phone? She uses that to track her mates.
We need that.
Like when they go on dates, like do
We need
the
that.
dates which are a bit dodgy.
Yeah,
they
we need
use
that.
that.
Yes, we do.
That's a good idea.
But I think it's
And
disgusting.
have you also heard about, and I only saw it when I went into Llandudno, and it was just having dinner in the day, and I went into the toilet cubicle, and on the, I can't remember the girl's name, but on the notice that if you say, have you seen Karen, to the bar staff, then they know you're on a date,
And it's going wrong.
and it's going wrong, and you feel
Oh,
threatened.
wow, that's really cool.
So if you say to the bar staff, is Karen in today? They know you're feeling.
I just think it's disgusting.
Oh, that is really cool, man. What's it called? Or was that in the place you were at?
London, no, she said.
Would you rather know about that than not know about it and know there was a strategy if you were in that position?
But there shouldn't have to be a strategy because it shouldn't happen. Like
Yeah, Addie, you know what? Addie's like a ball of string. Nothing should have to happen. But it's called awareness and safeguarding. So in that aspect is if there is safeguard in place, that there should be that awareness of what I can do as opposed to what am I going to do when I'm in that position.
Whether you
I have a lot of videos on my phone, like how women can get out of like
Oh,
situations.
yeah,
Have you seen it? Bag throw and
Also like order a drink as well. Like in America, this one is like if you go over and you ask for a certain drink, they'll like
know that you're in.
There's a problem.
Yeah. I thought that was fascinating. See, that's what I'm just trying to say is that I've learned a lot from you in this course.
I think now especially, sir, because it was different to when we were kind of going out dating or whatever, but the girls, they will be putting themselves out into that media world and that's how people are meeting, aren't they, on sites.
But you're already out there. I
Yeah.
mean, that's what I'm trying to say is like, you say you're 14, I'm talking to, in another class, girl who's 11, I'm going to go to a primary class where they're even younger. So that's the main thing about it is everything you say is important to everyone else. The idea of this project was to be able to share your stories and experiences. You know, to share the learning of all of that. Right? They will go into what is called a playlist. Right? So, what I have up here is an example of one of our other projects, Four Wings, which is a program for women living through domestic violence. They wanted to do something fun. They wanted to, you know, create a social media channel and then to be able, you know, like to be out there. Now, of course, they have a lot of issues. Some are still in court cases over their children. Some are in hiding from their partners and everything else like that. And so what we, you know, explain to them is with the podcast that like there'll be people in front of the camera like you were, and then there'll be people behind the camera. You know, so we could do like a call in and then, you know, so we don't have to break that confidentiality, but this is not about who I am and what my experience is, it's about empowerment, right? Self-expression, confidence building. That's what this program is about. So doing YouTube is great because the average person can feel like a celebrity in a way, because they're on a channel that the possibilities are endless to be seen, but they also can be private. So they could be unlisted, they could just be sent to particular people and everything, but they will be, you know, pretty much designed like this.
changes and viruses and the social media.
Right, so can you tell me, as a person who's already involved in YouTube, was there anything new that you picked up from yesterday?
I've never used a camera directly onto the YouTube website, like normally from the Xbox or something.
From yesterday, I learned something about viruses can do to your devices on your like shopping websites such as eBay can do to your well not do to your device but like do to you personally.
YouTubing isn't that hard, and if you want to start a YouTube channel, you need to be like consistent. You can't just like post one day and then leave it and then like don't post for another week, and then like you have to be like kind of like resilient and determined in what you want to do.
Did it help build any confidence in you?
Yeah, because I thought it's not that hard to like anymore to go in front of the camera and speak, because like so at the end of the world you're just going to speak in front of the camera and then edit it later, so it's not that hard to build up confidence.
House parties was so
Okay. Could selfies be a bad thing?
no, because you said if you have a uniform on, we're laughing.
Well, it can identify you, right?
Yeah, I know, but see.
But if it doesn't, then it's fine.
Well, knowing that I've mainly done it before, I feel like it's something that I'm used to do. Like it's on a weekly to 2 week basis.
Do you think it'd be an interesting course to take?
Yes.
I mean, because I understand that you are experienced, but there's always something new that you can learn, isn't there?
It was really good, and we spoke about what we think about YouTube, our opinions, and how to use it, and just the basics.
What do you think about this course at the fair? At the start?
At the start, I felt nervous because I was recording, and when I was doing the video, like I felt really like scared because if I like say something wrong
I felt a bit nervous because
or like
the first start when I was
not remember what I have to say, so I felt really nervous at the start when I recorded.
I felt very nervous because I was on the camera before and it was my first time.
Okay. I loved like at the start when we got told everything, and then we kept on getting told. We kept on getting told. We kept on getting told.
Okay, what did you learn? You guys knew what did you learn?
I felt a bit nervous because I was talking and we were and I didn't know what to say, but I knew what I was saying in the first part, but I didn't know what I was talking about the second part, and then that's it.
How did you feel, Mummy? I felt scared because I don't really like doing cameras and being in front of everyone.
Why did you feel scared?
Because I don't really like being in front of people and acting.
Did you like this part?
Yeah, it was good.
My favorite thing was when I was filming with the camera. Why? Because I haven't been filming before and this is my first time.
What did you say, Cora?
What part did you like?
The part that we were filming.
How did you feel?
I feel nervous, but I feel great and nervous.
It's nice because
What did you learn?
I learned how to record, because one time they put me as a record and I learned that it's not good to be a bully. Like, I don't want to be a bully anyway.
Do you like this course and why?
I like this course because I like technology.
No, she's close up, but I'm not like...
Because I play technology every day and I live it, the internet.
I like it because I've never been filmed and I would love to learn more about getting filmed.
I learned that how to learn about camera rolling and how to do learn about cyberbullying and that cyberbullying is not right to do and that's it.
What did you learn? I like about the cyberbullying because it teaches people not to bully people.
My favourite part was when I was writing about slow down for Bobby, because I like writing about people that lived before here and they went, and I like writing stories and things like that.
I'd say it was like interesting to see people's different thoughts and opinions, and then also the fact that we all had like different experiences and stuff like that.
Overall, I think the programme was really helpful for me and my friends as well, for us to all be able to talk about it and understand each other.
I really enjoyed it, and I learned how I can speak to all like my other friends who have had similar experience to me online, and if I need anything I can go to them and I know how to keep myself safe.
I learn loads of different ways to keep myself safe on social media and like other people's views of how they keep themselves safe, which could benefit me.
I feel like I can talk to more people about it and keeping it in.
About what?
My experiences and stuff.
What I learned from this program is that I don't want to talk to strangers and all that kind of stuff and all that, and don't want to follow them, or I'll just ask a friend to see what they'll think what the person is.
Yeah, I think I learned how to talk more openly about this sort of thing, because before I did this I was just a bit I don't want to talk about this stuff and all that, so yeah.
I got to understand my friends and what social media apps they use and how they stay safe. So now I'm going to use Quick Add more, like Adelina said, and use other different ways of staying safe.
I will learn that we don't want to be confident and don't want to talk to people that we don't know and all that.
Sharington is basically when parents will post pictures of their children and then not realise that other people can see it and other people can take them pictures. So they need to be more careful about it and learn that they can block people from their pages so they can't see the pictures of their children, and they can put their account on private so the only people they follow can see it.
I feel so say someone follows me that I don't know, I would ask one of my friends if they know who they are. So then if they one of my friends' friends, then I sort of know who they are. So then I'd add them. But if none of my friends knew who they were, then I'll just delete them.
I've learnt more about I learnt about Sharington, about your parents putting stuff on their social medias, not knowing the effects it'll have on us and stuff.
Just check on your kids and check, ask them what social media they're on, and ask them if, for example, someone started talking to them and they don't know, and just make sure you keep looking out for them.
Tell your parents everything, but parents, don't be so nosy, don't always ask your kids everything, because otherwise they're not going to want to tell you everything. Because if my mum and dad kept on asking me, I'd end up just not wanting to tell them.
With parents, I would say always ask your children what they're doing online, but then also be aware about what they're doing online, because they can be posting pictures of us in our uniforms and us with like other people in our school, and they like other people can see their pages because they don't know about putting your accounts on private, so they need to be aware as well.
I feel like with parents, you need to ask for the children's permission first, because parents usually just post about the children all the time, and sometimes like say like your children on holiday and like the school don't want to know or something like that, and then they post it and stuff, then they've like sort of like shown like your friend, and then the friend will tell the school, so it sort of like tells them.
Talk to your kids and like ask if they want to know, because if they have something up that you don't like and your friends see it, then you might get like made fun of. So yeah, talk to your kids.
So there was an option to work behind the camera for you in that aspect, which you did that. So how did you feel about that experience?
I feel like really more brave and all that, like more like brave and confident being on camera.
And working the camera and the lighting and everything?
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think so, because it's good to get your thoughts and opinions out there, as well as like learning. It like helps you be more confident and stuff around others who you might not have told this sort of stuff to before.
Yeah, I would be more involved, but like don't like want to like talk to them and all that.
I would recommend this program.
Just talk about it. Just even if it's not with your parents, talk to your friends. They can always help you, and don't feel like you're alone.
Thank you very much for participating. Let me hear those clap hands.